Hello, everyone. Welcome to your vinyasa practice. Today we're going to start out sitting on our mats. And if sitting is generally on the floor, if sitting on the floor is generally uncomfortable for you, like for the low back or the backs of the legs, then I recommend grabbing a blanket or something like that, pillow, couch cushion, yoga blocks if you have them, and just making sure the sits bones get a little bit of a lift there. We'll stretch the legs. Well, actually, let me reverse that. We're not going to stretch the legs out just yet. We're going to start with the knees bent a lot and see if you can sit upright. Okay, so starting with the knees bent, and it doesn't really matter if feet could be planted or not, but see if you can just sit up right here and notice how that feels on the spine and the backs of the legs. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And with the knees still bent a lot, we're going to see if we can bring the belly forward onto the thighs and just kind of lean over the legs. Another deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Still keeping the right leg bent. See if you can pick your right foot up with your right hand. And I'm going to take my right hand to the sole of the right foot. I'm keeping the knee bent again as I kind of lean back. And then I'm just going to take my left hand to my right foot, my right hand to my right knee, and just kind of move it a little bit side to side. So just kind of getting a sense of the hip, the back of the leg, this connection of hand to foot if you can make it. You could also use a strap here or a scarf. You can just kind of loop up that foot. Okay, so now this is specific. So right hand to the sole of the inner right foot, right hand to sole of inner right foot. See if you can extend that right leg forward a little bit. Leg doesn't have to be straight. You can keep that bend in the knee, but see if you can just extend it forward as if you're coming into a forward fold. And then left hand crosses, maybe. Left hand crosses over that wrist and you grab the outer edge of the right leg. So all I'm doing is crossing my wrist to make this bind. Right hand to the sole, the inner sole of the foot, left hand to the outer sole of the foot. Okay. If that cross of the wrist is too confusing, just any which way you can grab your foot. Now I'm going to see if I can start to bend and straighten the leg, that right leg. You notice that my left leg, I'm just letting it be relaxed. I'm not really directing it in any way. And now I'm going to see if I can keep this bind, hand to foot, and then come into a forward fold. So the right heel is going to slowly lower to the ground, and then maybe I extend it forward into more of a lengthened position. But again, always okay to keep the bend in the knee. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Just take a few moments to breathe here. One more breath. And then we'll release that hand to foot. We'll sit back up in our starting position, bending both knees pretty deeply. See if you can sit up nice and tall. Now let's drape the belly forward over the thighs and kind of round the spine. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So we'll pick up the left foot and keeping that knee pretty bent, we'll kind of just lean back and give it a little bit of a motion. Motion, not emotion, but you can add that emotion in there if you have it. Body, emotions, everything's all connected, especially when we're working with things like the hips. A lot of emotions can come up. It's absolutely normal to have things like that happen, like laughing or crying or anger or frustration. It's really normal for that to come up in a yoga practice. Okay, now let's take left hand, if you can, left hand to this inner ankle. So left hand to inner sole of left foot. And then right hand crosses on top, if that's possible. It's just an option, you don't have to do it. So my wrists are crossed on top of my ankle. And now I'm going to see if I can straighten out through the leg and then rebend the knee, keeping the hand to foot bind. And then again, I'm not really directing my right leg. It's just pretty relaxed in whatever shape I want it to be in. That might be straight, that might be bent. And then we're going to slowly lower that left heel back to the mat. The knee can stay bent a lot or a little. And as that heel lands on the ground, maybe you extend through the leg, maybe you keep the knee bent. A couple breaths here. Good, and then we'll release that. And we're going to come forward into tabletop. And today's tabletop will be just a little bit different than what we normally do. We're going to stand on our forearms in our tabletop. Not stand, but that's the foundation. Instead of the hands, it's forearms, elbows, palms of the hands are flat. Okay, let's start some cat-cow here. So it might be a little bit less range of motion than you're used to in your cat-cow. One more time, cat-cow. Good, and then we'll extend the left leg back. See if you can keep the forearms on the mat when you extend your left leg back. Curl your toes under, press down through the ball mound of the left foot. Left knee is lifted. It's like you're in a half forearm plank. So right knee is still on the mat. And then float that left leg off the mat. And then pull that left knee forward. Maybe you tap the left elbow. And then re-extend the left leg. Just sweep it back behind you. It doesn't have to lift high. Just reach it back behind you. And then pull the left knee forward. Twice more. Inhale, extend left leg. Exhale, pull the knee forward. One more time. Inhale, extend. And then as you extend, curl the toes under, press down through the ball mound of that left foot. Right leg's going to come back. You're in forearm plank now. So forearm plank. And if you need some support in forearm plank, just set the knees down. It's okay to take some support always. One more breath here. Left knee comes back to the mat. Press up to the left hand. We're going to come into supported side plank on the left side. So left hand, left knee is down, right leg is extended back, and then right arm sweeps up towards the ceiling or overhead. Sole of the right foot is planted at the back of your mat in this variation of side plank. Big breath in, big breath out. Let's bring the right hand down, the right knee down. You're back in tabletop. And then forearms back to the mat, back where we started. A few rounds of cat-cow here on the forearms. Make sure you stay connected with your breath. And we're extending the right leg back, and we're just going to start off by curling the toes under, pressing into the ball mound of that right foot. It's on the mat here. Just press down, press that right heel back. The knee is lifted. You're still on your forearms. Your left knee is resting on the mat. You're just holding here and breathing. 2 more breaths. Now we're going to lift that right foot off the mat. Just give it some extension. It doesn't have to be a high lift. Deep breath in. And then pull the right knee forward towards the elbow. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't. Inhale, extend the right leg back. Exhale, pull the knee forward. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pulling forward. Twice more.
One more time, the knee pulls forward, a little tap maybe. And then as you extend the right toes back, curl the toes under, press down through the ball mound of the foot. We're gonna extend the left leg back until you're in forearm plank, with or without the knees. So remember, you can always lower the knees. Forearm plank, deep breath in, deep breath out. This time set just the right knee down, press up into the right hand, sweep that left arm high towards the ceiling. You're pivoting that left hip open until it stacks on top of the right hip. And then the left bicep, it might come alongside the ear if that feels good. You're just looking for a little bit of length along the lateral border of the body. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Left palm back to the mat, wrist underneath the shoulders, and then move to high plank this time, high plank. Press into your hands, lift your hips, downward facing dog. So first time here in down dog, maybe make your stance a little bit wider. Okay, so that means hands and feet can be wider, maybe even the width of your yoga mat. Relax your head here. Feel free to bend the knees right and left. Let's take 2 more breaths in down dog. Let's inhale and shift forward, find high plank. And then option in your high plank to walk to your forearms, forearm plank. Deep breath in, deep breath out. If you're in forearm plank, option to walk the feet forward, lift the hips up, and find dolphin. So dolphin is just a variation of downward facing dog. Instead of on your hands, you're pressing through your forearms. If you're in dolphin, walk back out to forearm plank. And then if you're in forearm plank, walk back up to the hands, high plank. Pressing into the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Pause here, breathe in. Breathe out. Let's inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, walk the feet forward until you arrive into a forward fold at the top of your mat, Uttanasana. Relax your head. Bend your knees. Maybe a little sway side to side. Let's inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins, lengthen the heart forward, finding like that low cobra sensation in the upper back, pressing into the feet. Exhale, refold. Now we're going to let the arms be really heavy, the head be really heavy as we ragdoll here. We're going to reverse and curl the spine until you come all the way to standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. And as you stand in Tadasana, feel that tucking under of the tailbone, the lift of the frontal hip points. Palms might face open as the shoulders shrug down your back and the neck gets nice and long. Take a moment here to pause. If you feel comfortable, you can close the eyes. Bring your awareness to the soles of the feet, left foot, right foot, and both feet together. Let's add on to our flow. We'll inhale, blinking the eyes open, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands tracing the midline of the body as you forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bend the knees a little bit and then step your left foot back. Left foot steps back, right foot stays forward. Set the left knee down. Okay, now hands are going to walk outside of your front right foot. So you're going to turn your torso over your front right foot. Okay, so hands are outside of the front right foot. Now shift the weight back, hips move back until you're in this half split, walking the hands off towards the right side of the mat. Okay, so probably going to feel a little bit awkward, but again, a little bit of opening along the lateral border of the body, a little bit of rotation for the spine. And then see if you can keep that rotation, hands walking forward, but outside of the front right foot. Rebend into that right knee. See if you can keep that. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Okay, so let's unwind the torso, place the hands until they frame out that right foot. Palms underneath shoulders, step back to high plank, high plank. Breathe in. Breathe out. Option to come down to forearms, with or without the knees, forearm plank. Option to walk the feet forward, dolphin. If you're in dolphin, walk back to forearm plank. And if you're in forearm plank, high plank, walk back to the hands. Pressing into the hands, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Bend the knees, lift the heels, make your way forward, top of the mat, Uttanasana. Hang out here for a breath cycle or two. Relax your head. Okay, so again, we're going to keep that ragdoll in the upper body, arms heavy, head heavy, pressing into the feet, reverse uncurl the spine, come to standing. And then as you come to standing, the tailbone tucks, the front hips lift, shoulders slide down the back, palms face forward, relax the arms. Maybe you close the eyes here as you stand tall, Tadasana. Awareness to the sole of the right foot, sole of the left foot, both feet together. Blinking the eyes open, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold back in, second side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees a little bit and step that right foot back. Set the right knee to the mat, and now we're going to walk the hands off to the left. Both hands walk off to the left. It's probably going to feel kind of awkward. Maybe it feels almost impossible. Just do your best, and if you grab a prop, maybe like blocks or books or something, anything that allows the arms to be a little bit longer, the hips are going to start to shift backward as that left leg lengthens forward. So you're in that half split with that rotation of the torso, hands off to the left. And breathe into that right waist. Take one more breath here. So we're going to keep the hands outside of the left leg as we rebend into the left knee, walking the hands forward a little bit. Okay, so hands are still on the left. Curl the right toes under, lift the right knee, pause here, breathe in. Breathe out. Now let's unwind the torso, walk the hands forward, hands right underneath the shoulders. Step to high plank. You know your options here. Maybe walk down to forearms. You could always do forearm cat-cow if you don't want to come into dolphin or hold forearm plank. That's always an option. Really great one. If you're coming into forearm plank, maybe move that into dolphin, walking the feet forward, lifting the hips. If you're in dolphin, walk back out to forearm plank. We'll meet in high plank, walking back up to the hands, and then downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lift the heels, bend the knees a little or a lot. Walk your way forward. Now in this forward fold, The feet are going to stay as they are. They're parallel with one another. The toes are pointing forward. You're going to walk your hands off to the right side, just like you did in that lunge. Now bend the left knee as you walk your hands to the right. Relax your head, bend your left knee. Right leg is straight. If you want a little bit more, that left hand can catch hold of the right ankle, the outer right ankle. Unwind, come back through center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Hands are going to walk towards your left. Again, the feet stay the same. It's just the torso and the hands that are walking towards your left. Relax your head here if you want a little bit more. That right hand, it might cup the outer left ankle. Only if that's accessible for you and your body. All right, let's unwind, come back through center. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, keep that halfway lift. Place the hands on the waist and stand up, top of the mat. Okay, so we've been prepping the body for this shape, starting off with the very first thing we did in our forward fold. And now we're going to add that element of balance in. So we're going to start to shift the weight into the left foot, start to feel really grounded here and rooted. If balance is an issue, if you're feeling like you need a little extra stabilization, you can bring a chair next to you. You could place your hand on a wall. You can even move your mat to close enough to touch the wall. We're going to lift that right knee. So you're standing tall on your left leg. Lift the right knee. Okay, now we're going to see if we can take the right hand to the inner edge of the right foot. Right hand to inner edge of the right foot. So I'm cupping the sole of my foot. Yeah, so if that's in place, see if you can stand up a little bit taller. So it's almost like I was heading into tree pose, but I'm not going to head into tree pose. Remember what we did at the beginning of class. We're going to see if we can extend the right leg forward a little bit. It's absolutely okay to keep the right knee bent. Now, if you want to add on that cross of the wrist, maybe that left hand reaches forward. You're crossing your wrist and you're cupping the outer edge of the ankle as you extend through the leg. It's okay to keep the knee bent. You don't have to get the leg straight. See if you can grow tall through the spine. And if you're holding here, can you take one more breath? Now, if you've got that double bind and the leg straight, start to rebend the knee. Release the hands. And then just stand up tall. Take a deep breath here. Neutralize. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're going to shift the weight into that right foot. Let go of whatever success or perceived failure happened on the first side. Let's just explore and be curious about the second side. Okay, so all that weight shifts into the right foot. Stand nice and tall on the right leg. Lift the left knee. So same hand to same foot. Left hand's reaching for the inner left foot, the arch of the foot. And maybe this is where you stay, right? Maybe you're working your balance here, opening up the hips, standing tall in the right leg, reaching tall through the crown of the head, finding a nice long spine. This is a lot. My ankle is stabilizing. I can feel my muscles firing. So it's great to work here to build that foundation. Now, if you want to take it that step further, maybe you see if you can extend through the leg a little bit. Doesn't have to be all the way. If you're feeling like you really want that challenge, right hand's going to cross on top of that left ankle. I'm reaching for the outer edge of my left foot. Now my leg doesn't get all the way straight on this side. I've got a little bit of a hamstring issue on my left leg, so I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to keep that knee bent. I'm going to press down through my right foot, get really long through the right leg. See if I can stand a little bit taller through my spine here as I breathe. If you're balancing with the bind, one more breath. And then see if you can reverse out of it the same way you came in. Releasing the hands, release the foot, and stand tall at the top of your mat. Grounding breath here, inhale. Exhale.
All right, we're going to move through one vinyasa flow just to neutralize and move down to the floor and close out our practice. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, folding in. Inhale, halfway lift. If you're really craving that traditional flow like chaturanga, up dog, down dog, feel free to take it. Otherwise, I'm stepping into high plank, doing that modified option of walking to the forearms, pausing in my forearm plank. And then I'm going to choose dolphin. One full breath cycle once I'm in dolphin. Walking back to forearm plank. Now this time I'm going to set my knees down and come to my belly and lengthen out into Sphinx. We didn't do a lot of back bending today. We did a lot of forward folding and hinging from the hips. It's a little counter action here for the low back in Sphinx. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So even if you went through that traditional vinyasa flow and you were hanging out in down dog, come down to Sphinx for a few breaths with me. All right, so today we're going to take Shavasana. I'm going to give you the option, if you'd like, to just pull the elbows wide, stack the hands underneath the forehead, tuck the chin in, and rest the forehead on the backs of the hands, settling into a belly down Shavasana. If that is not comfortable for you, please feel free to roll over onto your back. If you're craving anything else like happy baby or Apanasana or a little rotation, like a twist, please take care of yourself. And so whatever you're doing, finishing up if you need to do something on the second side. We'll settle into Shavasana by breathing in through the nose. Open your mouth, exhale. Feel your back teeth part. Relax your jaw. Soften the throat. Relax the flesh around the eyes. Release your shoulders. Relax your hips. Relax your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Shavasana. If you're in belly down Shavasana, you might bring your hands underneath your shoulders, maybe press back to child's pose. If you're on your back in Shavasana, you might roll off to a side, fetal position. Let's take a full breath cycle in our transition shapes. And then we'll briefly come to an upright seat and have a little bit of a pranayama practice. And pranayama today will be something called Brahmari breath, which is translated as bumblebee breath because that's the sound it makes. And it's an inhale through the nose. And it's an exhale, just humming, very gentle seal of the lips, almost like an om, but with the mouth closed. So it sounds like this. And you're just exhaling with that hum for as long as you can. It's no need to force it or elongate it. Let it be natural. When you're ready to inhale again, just through the nose, and hum it out. So we'll do that 4 times and then we'll close. If you like, you can close the eyes, sit up nice and tall, deep breath in. Begin. Last 2 rounds. Last round. Let go of Brahmari breath. Inhale and exhale, neutral through the nose. In closing, I invite you to bring the hands together at the heart, bow the chin to the chest. Taking a moment to honor your effort and your practice. With reverence and gratitude, may you remember that you will always be okay. May you find a light that guides you and keeps you safe. May you have hope, help, and happiness along the way. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's a pleasure, it's an honor to share this with you. I hope it feels good, and I hope you come back as soon as you can. Take care of yourselves in the meantime.